Hello everybody, this is Frowny13 here and welcome to a fairly important talk show. You wonder why is this important? Well, I'll get into it as the stream goes on, but for now I need to see how many people actually come up to today's stream. Because this stream is a pretty important one, considering, I'll get into the details as to why in a bit. But firstly I want to see how many people actually turn up to today's stream. Oh, great, there's music playing in the... Freak, I'm drying on with the fan. Lovely. You know, I was hoping that would be a thing. I love how right when I start the stream, Mommy decides to stop with music, which is great. Yeah, as long as the fan drowns it out, though, that's... Who cares? So... Yeah, everything is set to go, but nobody has turned up to the stream so far, but thankfully, as you know, I have a thumbnail for the stream, which means that this live stream will be going public straight after it ends, because this is a fairly important live stream, and well, of course, this is a fairly important live stream, which means that I want people to, watch. There's really one person watching already. If anyone's here, post them in the chat, and I'll of course, read it on stream like I always do, because I always have the chat opened up on these streams, of course. I'll wait a couple more minutes, and if nobody turns up in the chat or whatever, then I might just begin talking about important stuff in regards to the future of my channel for at least the year, and then, through other points of interest. So, yeah, I guess I'll go wait another minute for some internet. In the meantime, I want to get my iPad because it's very intelligent to me, the fact that I wrote down some notes in my iPad of what I'm going to be talking about today, and of course I laid my iPad on the bed, and I should have had it right on my lap so I could actually read out what I had it on the iPad, because I decided to write the stuff in the notes, app on my iPad, which is quite useful, I will say the Notes app on the iPad is honestly a very useful app because, it's really a notebook. It's just like the thing about the notepad. It's just there. You can just write stuff down in there. But the thing that makes this app so good is the fact that you can write down so many notes and stuff. And I'm just waiting for the day that pretty much everybody has moved on to an iPad or some kind of device and not pencil and paper. Hello, Alexander Beast, welcome to the show. But yeah, pencil and paper. Like, I don't know why some people still use pencil and paper in the year 2019, because I already know for sure that one day in the future, pencil and paper is going to be a thing of the past. There's going to be a point in time where pencil and paper will no longer even be a thing, and everybody will have moved on to some form of technology, which allows us to write stuff, which allows us to type stuff down in some kind of computer or mobile device, or whatever. So, yeah, although looking at the current condition of most schools these days, that day that pencil and paper becomes obsolete might not come for a considerable amount of time, but I do at least hope that does come at least at some point in my lifetime, which I plan for it to go on for at least 100 years, maybe even longer, I don't know. But, yeah, so I guess that's my little sausage on pencil and paper. Okay, so let's now begin with the important stuff in this talk show. So, now all this information that I'm about to give you, I was actually originally to record a video of all this stuff, but I decided to scrap the video because I thought the video itself was a bit meh. Honestly, it's better if I talk about it in this talk show because it allows me to go into a lot more detail, and actually I actually have a lot more time to talk about it in question, in case anybody asks me about this, and alright, so I have a certain amount of notes in regards to my channel in the future, so let's begin with trial and error. Now, trial and error is the best way to sum this up because ever since Gen 3 launched on my channel has just been mostly trial and error because my original plan was to do one live stream a day whilst having a video per day, maybe 2 videos per day, and on some occasions 3 videos per day. And I tried that out, and from the start, it was flawed because, well, mainly because of the fact that, what am I trying to say here? You know, the fact that it was really draining to do this, because one thing that I've realized, especially during the school year, is that when I do a live stream, you know, or after I do a live stream, I'm really drained out, and then after that I don't really feel like doing anything for the rest of the day, you know, like if I have to record a video or do some other stuff, I'm just not really up to it as a result of doing a live stream, because, you know, doing a live stream really drains out all my energy that I would otherwise have to do all that stuff. So, and, you know, on the videos in question, you know, NASCAR E2, F1 2015, those videos are back in September, and I got bored of those videos after a while and didn't do them because it just got really boring, you know. And those are the types of videos, you know, where, you know, the videos where you might play a racing series on a video game, and those types of videos bore me these days. So those types of videos, I mean, they'll be on here for just a little while longer, but after that they'll pretty much be gone forever because they're just not that fun to make anymore, honestly. So, you know, so, and then another interesting point of interest is that then, of course, as you may or may not remember, in the month of September, there was an entire week where I originally thought that I wasn't going to have Wi-Fi for the whole week, but then it turns out I did have Wi-Fi for the whole entire week. But I still didn't do any live streams for that week because I decided to instead devote my time to working on my leagues in NASCAR Racing 2003 season, which is the NASCAR Skills Cup Series and the NASCAR Siemens National Series. And being able to, not having to do any live streams in that week really allowed me to focus a lot more on the 2003 stuff, because, you know, I was a lot more driven to do it because my energy wasn't being spent doing a live stream, and instead it was being spent actually putting effort into, you know, a project that I've been working on ever since I got this new computer way back in the summer. And, you know, it came to my attention, you know, doing this live stream stuff, it's not such a good idea. So, you know, I really thought that I could do the live streams and all stuff, you know, but it's now come to my attention that it's just too much, and overall it's just resulted in my channel getting into a bit of a cluster of videos that most of which don't really tie in together that well. So I do intend to change that going into the future, and I shall go over that bit one by one in a way. So the next thing I want to mention is the live streams, of course. Now, like I said, just said a bit earlier, live streams, they really drain out a lot of my energy, and therefore I will be doing very few live, or not, well, I say very few, don't be doing live streams now and again, but here's how it's gonna work. So I was originally gonna say this is my video, which I recorded on the first day of the year, and I mentioned that I was gonna do live streams for regularly for the entirety of the month of January, and then for the first 2 weeks of February. Well, we're now past the first 2 weeks of February, and this is actually going to be my last live stream, or regularly scheduled live stream, until the month of July. And the reason for that is because of my next reason, but I guess talk about live streams for the time being. So basically, my plan for the future is that when the month of July comes along, instead of doing a live stream every single day, like Monday through Friday, instead I'm only going to be doing a live stream every 3 days. Like, I'm thinking about doing a live stream on just Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then that's it for the week. And I'll use Tuesday and Friday for other things, you know, my other projects and stuff. And, you know, I thought I could do 5 live streams a week, but it turns out I just can't because it's just too much. So I am reducing it to 3 live streams, and maybe some weeks to just 2 live streams. It really depends on if I'm up to streaming or not, because, you know, I really don't want my live stream to be a cluster of live streams, because, you know, it just makes my upload place look like a mess. And I know so many unlisted live streams that I did throughout the month of, you know, the month of December, January, and February, and those live streams will be released probably starting in the month of April. Although I will say that between now and the month of July, there will be 1 live stream probably in April or May, or it depends on whenever the second Forza Horizon 4 expansion comes out. I can't at least tell you that on the day that the second Forza Horizon 4 expansion comes out, I'll be doing a live stream on that. But that is going to be it in terms of live streams, and the month of July is when the, you know, July live stream schedule will be made. So now you may wonder, why is there going to be such a big gap in live streams? Why am I not doing a live stream from now until the month of July, apart from the one for the Horizon 4 live stream I plan? Well, that's my next thing that I'm going to be getting on, and that is Bill and Ted season number 2 and 3. Now, Bill and Ted, I've already had to delay the series twice, but it looks like I will be able to get this series up when I intend it to. So I might as well say now that short number 11 of Bill and Ted will be released on the first Wednesday of March, provided everything goes well. In fact, to give you an exact date, March 6th of 2019. So that's going to be the date, the release date for short number 11, and then every short after that will be released every week on a Wednesday. And when I say release, it's going to actually be in the form of a premiere, and that premiere will be happening every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So this will be going for all 20 shorts for Bill and Ted season 2 and 3. And I'm doing this in a way that sort of compensates for the live stream. So whenever these premieres do happen, I'll at least have the live chat open, and you can sort of interact with me while watching the epic Bill and Ted short that I put together because why not? And although there's been a little bit of a plan change. I guess one thing I should say about this live stream, that this live stream was originally going to be on last Friday, so basically the Friday of last week. Unfortunately, I decided not to do this live stream on that day because of a reason that I'll get into later. But as a result of that, I have decided to delay this live stream until today, just so I could get some more details and know what's going on, so I can do this live stream a bit more safely. And I will at least say, yesterday I spent, I spent the past 2 days, actually I should say, the past 2 days, I have been going on a mad filming spree, or a mad shooting spree, I suppose, and I'll be continuing on for the rest of the week, and I will say that Bill and Ted season 2 is indeed right around the corner, because I've spent the past couple of days non-stop filming and stuff, and, just purely just editing, not editing, I'm saving that for next week, but this week I've been spending a lot of it shooting. I will say that as of right now, I now have every necessary clip for short number 11, 12, 13, and 16, and I also have half of the clips filmed for short number 14 and half of the clips filmed for short number 17. Of course, I'm still not going to be revealing any details about the plot of Bill and Ted season 2. You guys are just going to have to just find out what the plot is for for Bill and Ted season 2 as the shorts come out. So of course I'm still not saying anything about the plot or the story of Bill and Ted season 2, but I can at least tell you all the other details surrounding it, such as when it's going to be released, when I'm doing around it, and all that stuff. So so for this week, it's going to be, I'm really going to be spending most of my time just filming and getting all the clips that I need for Bill and Ted season number 2 and 3 if I get on with it. And I'll be continuing that maybe today after this live stream, and then of course for Thursday and Friday. And then the following week I'll be editing shorts number 11 and 12 and get ready to get those up on YouTube along with the NR 2003 leaks. So that's really all I have to say about Bill and Ted for now. I can at least tell you that it is right around the corner, provided that everything goes right. Like I said, I'll probably reveal a few more details about that later. But yes. So here's the thing. Originally in this part I was going to talk about something in regards to Top Gear 2.0, but I can't really, say anything about that now because it's not really relevant anymore. Here's of course NASCAR 2 F1 2015 video. So those were a thing a little while back, and then I stopped doing those. And so you may wonder, am I gonna at least finish the series of NASCAR 2 and F1 2015? The answer to that is yes. Although the question is how, because one part of me wants to continue the video format with Bill and Ted, or not Bill and Ted, with the F1 2015 NASCAR 2 videos. But one thing I might do instead is do what I originally planned to do back in last summer, and that is do a live stream on the remaining races in each championship. So I might probably start that in maybe August of this year or something like that. I'm really not entirely sure, but that will come, I guess I would say that will come sometime after July, and probably in the month of August. I'm not really too sure. I'm going to have to figure out a few things, and I'll give you some more details when I can. So, and I do have some other plans after that as well. So, also I love how I didn't mention that I didn't put Enter 2003 in these notes. I will also tell you that the Enter 2003 leagues will be coming back alongside Bill and Ted season number 2. So that means the NASCAR team is actually in the NASCAR Sales Cup Series. Those will be returning to the channel straight after show number 11 comes up. So I guess I'll tell you the schedule for week number 3 of week number 1 of March is going to be show number 11 on March the 6th, and then after that is going to be March 7th. Is going to be the next race in the NASCAR Siemens National Series, and then the day after that is going to be the NASCAR Skittles Cup Series, and I will do my best to consistently upload those races. I'm going to do my best to try to get a NASCAR Siemens National Series race out just about every Thursday, whenever that comes up on the schedule, the season schedule today, and of course get a NASCAR Skittles Cup Series race up every Friday. And I will definitely make sure, or at least, hope to make sure to keep that consistent all the way until the final races of each respective season. And then after that, I won't even need to worry about the year 2003 stuff until next year. So, yay. I do have some other plans following that. Although I guess I'll say now, once I get all that stuff out of the way, Bill and Ted season 2 and 3, and the NASCAR Racing season, and 2003 leagues or whatever. I do plan to get back to some of the things that I did, in Gen 2 era, I suppose. So that means spotter remixes. Spotter remixes is one thing I wanted to get back to because I was originally planning on doing spotter remixes last year and for quite a bit of this year, but then Gen 3 happened, and that was the thing. But the spotter remixes that I made back in 2017 have been back in my mind, and I do plan to continue spotter remixes. And especially now I can make better spotter remixes now that I have Sony Vegas 12 at my disposal, so I can use that to make my spotter remixes instead of Audacity and Windows Movie Maker of all things. Thankfully those days are over. So I'll be doing that sometime in the summer, maybe September. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see. And then there's the other things with YouTube poops. So if you guys don't know, I have my Bank Coach YouTube channel or something like that. I guess where I upload YouTube poops, which are not child friendly, by the way. So if you're offended by really mature stuff, then don't stay away from Bank Coaches. But do go there if you like YouTube poops. And I did actually upload a YouTube poop in late January because it was going to be the entry for the Real Xbox Nerds YouTube poop collab. Although I haven't consistently uploaded any YouTube poops ever since the end of 2017. So I can at least tell you that I plan to change that eventually when I get like I said, after all the stuff. I do plan to get back into YouTube poops, or at least making them somewhat more consistently. And there's that, and I have a few other editorial plans as well. Because one thing that I've noticed for myself, that when I watch videos, I noticed about myself that I get a lot more of an enjoyment out of a video that is quite heavily edited than a video that consists of a really long clip that is unedited and unfiltered. So I'm really going. So after I get the F1 2015 and NASCAR 2 videos out of the way, I really do plan to put an end to videos where I basically don't do very much editing at all. From NASCAR Race 2003 season stuff, because that stuff is too much fun. But I will say I will be putting a lot more effort into videos where I do a lot of editing, because I find those types of videos to be really, really enjoyable to watch. And I feel like if I'm enjoying a video that I made that is heavily edited, I feel like you guys will enjoy it too. So I do plan to do stuff like movie reviews, and maybe if I have a few other ideas at the back of my mind that I had in the back of my mind ever since Gen 3 became a thing, and I do plan to get on with that when I can. And that's about it for the future of my channel. So, really, in the month of September is really the bit where I'm gonna do a bit more, or more realistically, after I finish up Bill and Ted Season 2 and 3 and the NR 2003 leagues, and you know, for the most part, the F1 NASCAR 2 and F1 2015 videos, or videos, let's say videos, they might just become live streams during the summer. I'm not really too sure, but I'm gonna have to really experiment with those and just see where those go. Because I don't really want to bring those series to going hold it again, but I do at least just want to get them out of the way and over with, just so I, you know, don't look back and say, or don't look back at those series and get they're unfinished. So, there you go. And that's how it's going to be all the way up until 2020, and 2020 is going to be an interesting year, and I guess I might say why in the future, but there's all your stuff for now. So, I hope you guys have now been able to get a bit more of an insight as to where I plan to take my channel for this year and the future. And this year should be a lot of fun for my channel. Might just be the most fun yet, especially with Bill and Ted finally coming out, you know. I've had to delay the series twice already, and I really don't want to delay the third time. Especially considering, you know, how long ago I wrote the original scripts for Bill and Ted Season 2, and how badly I really want to get the series out, especially with the fact that I filmed so many clips just this week alone, and how many more I'm going to film for the rest of the week. So there you go. Now I should get into a bit more of a detail as to the reason why this live stream has been delayed until today, and it happened on Friday. Now, unfortunately, I can't say much because I don't want to get yelled at, but there's been a bit of issue going on between my mom and daddy, and they're not in the best relationship right now, and you know, it's caused me to just get a little bit traumatized, and I would go into more detail about it, but I really don't want to right now. I might explain in a video if it's necessary, but I think for now I want to wait for some more details to come on, and maybe then talk about it more. But for right now, that's what I'm going to say. Other than that, that's about all I really talk about in terms of, you know, the future of my channel and other things. So, yeah. So there you go. This is a talk show, but it's not finished yet, though. We still have a good amount of time to go. Now, so now I want to get into a bit more detail about a certain something else that I recently discovered, and that has had to do with Mr. Moleman978. Now, considering that I do train simulator stuff, you may or may not know of Moleman978's existence. And me and Moleman978 go back to the year 2014, or I say we go back, you know, of course, me and Moleman, we never personally knew each other, but I did watch quite a bit of his content, and, you know, I guess I'll go into a bit of a backstory of it, but I guess I might as well say now, Moleman978 is retired. Indeed. The Moleman has now officially decided to not upload any more videos. You know, as you can see by his most recent video called Best of Trains and Farewell, where in the description he says, you know, how his YouTube stuff started and how he doesn't really need it anymore, and I look at them, I'm just like, okay. So, you know, one part of me is a little bit salty about the Moleman978 leaving to go, but more part of me is actually kind of glad. And I'll tell you why. So, going back to 2014, that was the year that I first discovered the Moleman978, and one of the reasons, or one of the things how I got, or one of the ways of how I got into Train Simulator in general, because November of 2014 was the month that I officially got Train Simulator back in Train Simulator 2015, which was the current iteration of the game at the time. And I managed to come across Mr. Moleman978, and the content that he uploaded back in 2014, some of it I actually really liked, you know, especially his crash compilations, some of his scenarios that he played, and his other silly videos. You know, I even watched his, you know, flight simulator videos because I thought those were actually kind of cool. So Um, but then in early of 2015, me and Mr. Momonatsumi got into a bit of a controversy, and this happened when he uploaded his video called, what was it called? It was I think it was Electrostar Madness, I'm not sure. It was a video where he first showed off the Class 378 when I first came to Train Simulator. In the video, he said a few bad words, or I won't say a few bad words. He said a couple bad words for the most part. And I didn't like this too much. I left a comment saying, "You really don't want to be saying any bad words." And so Mr. Moman was like, "Yeah, well, the bad words is the sausages." And I forget what he said. You know, that's just the mumbled version, I suppose. Now that we actually continue to have a bit of an argument with each other in a way in the comment section of that video. You know, where we continuously just replied, and it was basically a common thread that continued for quite some time, and it didn't really go anywhere, and even his mate Gamer75 got involved, and it was a silly argument that really didn't really go anywhere. And actually, and I think another thing I should add is that before that I did eventually discover the Gamer75 just a bit later after I discovered the Moment78. It turns out they're actually cool guys, or cool friends, I suppose. Well, cool guys, actually, that's a bit of a lie. They were good friends with each other. Kind of like me, Russell, and Domtron now, in a way. So they did videos together, and that's how I discovered Mr. Gamer75. And I checked out Mr. Gamer75, so then there was me and Mr. Moman and Mr. Gamer75, but it got involved into a common thread. Unfortunately, that common thread no longer exists because a little while after that, I decided to delete my original comment. So, unfortunately, that common thread no longer exists, and unfortunately, you can no longer view it because, like I said, it's not there. I kind of wish I did delete it though, just so I could just look back at that and, see how much of a saucer I was a bit for the moment, or how much saucers we were back in that time. But yeah, of course, me being the way that I was back in 2015, that common thread doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, after that we didn't really say much to each other. I did at least watch the Moment videos after that time. I actually kind of enjoyed them for a while, but then things got a bit more sausagey about it. Where oh shoot, I hear some noises. Anyway, continuing. So, sausage, of course, there's. I hear noises. Not fun. But anyway, continuing. So, after that little banter that we had, I suppose, we what am I trying to say here? Well, I was gonna say something, but I can't remember what it was. But anyway, after that, so we didn't really say much. So we did at least tell you that I did watch the Moment. I did actually watch Moment and his content after that, and after that, I guess when he did say bad word, he didn't really bother me, for the most part. So I just watched his videos because I thought they were entertaining at the very least. And whenever he did say bad word, like I said, it didn't really bother me that much after that for some reason. But then Mr. Gamer75 uploaded a video and once again said a bad word that I didn't really approve of. So I got into a bit of a rivalry with him in a way. Well, not really a rivalry, just an argument that was a bit silly. So yeah. So then me and Mr. Gamer75 argued for a little bit. It wasn't a big amount of time, Then an interesting video came out from Mr. Gamer75 about it, which was a public appeal video, which addressed the swearing in a way, and made an argument that was a little bit that I eventually found to be a little bit silly, thanks to a guy called Maverick Daniel. I might, get a bit more about Maverick Daniel a bit more, but yeah, Mr. Gamer75 basically came out and said that 99% of people don't get offended by the swearing and stuff, and if you don't like the content, then don't watch it. I mean, being the person that I was back in 2015, I was like, if you don't like it, don't watch. I thought the argument was, for the most part, was kind of valid. That was until I discovered Mr. Maverick again a couple years later. Where, eventually I learned from Mr. Maverick and Daniel that when you say if you don't like it, don't watch it, that's a little bit silly, But I'll get into that a bit later. So after that public appeal video came out, you know, then I had a bit more banter with Momo978 after that, and eventually came to a point where Mr. Momo978 just straight up blocked me through Google Plus, so I wasn't able to comment on any of his videos anymore. And funny enough, even after that, I still watch his videos because they were still kind of entertaining. And so then the saga, well, not really saga, it pretty much ended there, but you know, I still continued watching Momo978 and Gamer75 for a little while. And then I came to the point where Mr. Gamer75 announced that he was now going to be semi-retired, which meant that, you know, Mr. Gamer75 was no longer going to be uploading videos on a regular basis, and while he would still upload videos, it would only be like on a super rare occasion. So, you know, when that happened, I was actually kind of glad because, you know, being the cool person that, or sort of cool person that I was back in 2015. So, as a result of that, I was actually kind of glad that Mr. Gamer75 was basically not uploading any more videos. Well, he's still uploading videos, but not on a regular basis anymore. So, hey, you know, Gamer75 was gone, was well, not really gone from YouTube, but just sort of gone, I suppose. Which means I didn't really have to worry about him, you know, swearing on video, using backwards in video, I suppose. And then I was like, well, you know, I hope that someday Mr. Momo978 goes on the same direction. So, but yeah, you see, even after the semi-retirement of Mr. Gamer75, you know, then I sort of continued watching Momo978 after a while, but then I kind of got bored of them. You know, I just lost interest. I eventually just lost interest in Momo978's videos, and eventually came to the point where I just unsubscribed from his channel because I was no longer interested in his content. Yeah, after that, I didn't really think much of after that, I didn't really think much of Momo978, and eventually, I would discover Maverick Daniel, and he would become my favorite YouTuber of all time. And you know, I am very glad that I discovered this is Maverick Daniel, because I feel like I've matured a lot ever since I, you know, figured out the existence of Maverick Daniel, and I still love Maverick Daniel to death. I really do. I love his videos. Honestly, the best train simulator type videos that I've seen ever on YouTube. And yeah, that's another thing that I might go into a bit, another thing, you know, might go into a bit more detail about Maverick Daniel later, but yeah, so anyway, back to Momo978. I eventually lost interest. You know, he still continued to upload videos, I checked him out now and again, but it was very recent that I discovered that Momo978 had retired from YouTube. Yeah, well, you know, back in 2015 when the Soul was going on, I was hoping that one day Momo978 would retire from YouTube. And 3.5 years later, it happened. It happened. Yep. It only took 3.5 years, but it has now happened. And honestly, I'm kind of glad. Because I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that I don't really enjoy Momo978's videos, or not his newer videos. You know, I still can get enjoyment out of Momo978's older videos, like when he had his laptop and his new PC special. But after that, his content was just not that fun to watch after that, and you know, it's just come to a point where, you know, Momo978 is just uploading career scenarios, which I find boring now. And yeah, it's only taken Mr. Moleman's 3.5 years after that Soul Street to eventually officially retire from doing YouTube, which I think is, I mean, one part of me thinks it's kind of cool because I didn't really like the videos that much, but another part, it's like, I don't really cares. And although I will say that Mr. Moleman's reasons for retiring are actually quite interesting. You know, in the description of his videos, or his video Best of Trains and Farewell, he actually goes into how and why he started doing YouTube and how he doesn't need to do YouTube anymore. Because, you know, apparently, you know, Mr. Moleman, you know, apparently when he first started YouTube, he was going through some unfortunate times where apparently he had surgery and things not going well for him, and so he decided to start up doing YouTube, and eventually he wanted to grow, and you know, and I guess Moleman's source for being happy was doing train simulator videos, and then it came to a point where he met a group of guys, and you know, they were able to laugh with each other and have fun together, and Now it's come to the point where one doesn't really need to do YouTube anymore to get enjoyment, because now he has friends that he can laugh with, and I honestly think that's kind of a good thing. It's always nice if you have a friend or friends that you can laugh with. That's why I'm so happy to have friends, my own friends, being Russell and Domtron, and of course I can't forget about Andre, who recently joined Top Gear. But oh well, but of course Moment is not going from the internet entirely. Still as a presence on Twitter. So if you wanna know what Moment 97 is up to these days, just look at you can, I guess you can give him a follow on Twitter if you want to. I don't know. I'm not gonna follow him on Twitter because I'm not interested. But if you want to, you can. So there you go. So that was that's my take on Moment 78, but now I want to talk about a bit myself for a minute. So, this has to do with, I guess, for the most part, YouTubers that eventually retire from YouTube. And, of course, and there are various reasons why somebody might start up doing YouTube. And, some do it to escape the world, others do it because it might be fun to do. And I guess I'll say, for me, the reason why I started to do YouTube and the reason why I started this is because I was inspired to do it, Back in the year 2010 and 11, I saw mainly 2011, I saw these cool videos by specifically a guy called Blue Collection and a few other guys, a few other toy channels. Basically I was inspired by toy channels. Well, specifically toy channels that did reviews on the Cars toys, like the Pixar Cars, the Cars franchise, and Hot Wheels and stuff like that. I saw video reviews of those, and I saw those and thought they were really cool, and eventually, I thought to myself, hey, I can do this too. And in the year 2011, I made my own toy reviews, and a year later, in 2012, I would eventually have a YouTube channel of my own created, and I would use that for uploading toy reviews. As you can tell by my first 150 videos I uploaded throughout the year 2012 and 13. Most of those are still up, by the way, so if you want to go back in time and check those out, I'd say go for it, because they're quite a treasure in my books, and maybe yours too, if you can be able to watch them. And so that's just how I got my start on YouTube. And of course, another question I would like to address is, of course, not all YouTubers are YouTubers forever. Eventually they retire for whatever reason, because demonetization for the most part. Well, at this point, the main reason why YouTuber might leave YouTube is demonetization, but that's, honestly, who cares about that anymore? Or, well, I don't care, but like I said, because this channel of mine is not monetized, even though I like to make demonetization jokes. I do just for jokes and fun, but of course, at the end of the day, my channel is not actually monetized, and at this point, probably never will be monetized, just so I won't have to go through the monetization battle. And even then, I'm not here on YouTube to make money. I'm just here to have fun. I'm having fun since 2012, and will continue to have fun for as long as possible. And but I guess some other reason why some YouTubers might retire is because maybe they want to move on. I should also say another YouTuber that actually recently retired was the Scotsman Returns, who, funny enough, is another YouTuber that I had a bit of a cluster with, and eventually wish they would retire. Selfish that sounds, and what do you know? Mr. The Scotsman Returns, who was another train simulator video guy in the community. He his final video was the Little Westerner, which I still have yet to watch, but he made that, and that would be his final video, and of course, he's basically sort of moved on, and so eventually people just move on from YouTube. So you might ask, well, Frowny13 Bob, and what's your take on that? Well, for me, well, you may ask me for most, how much longer do I plan to go YouTube? And for me, there is no moving on from YouTube. YouTube is my life outside of sausage school, because school is very sausagey. It's boring. It's bland. And I need something in my life to make it just a bit more entertaining. And this is it. Doing YouTube. And and for me, I really want to just continue for just as long as possible. Just see where it goes, and just generally to have fun for the most part. You know, of course, some YouTubers might move on to do something. You know, I guess even if I choose to get a job or go to college or whatever, probably not go to college actually because screw that. But you know, even if I get involved in some other type of business, I will still, I will really always consider my YouTube channel, and you know, just generally continue to do it as much as possible. And you know, one interesting quote that came from Mr. Maverick Hunter Daniel. You know, he once said, "I'm not leaving YouTube until YouTube leaves me," and that's pretty much the stance that I have. And you know, I really have to give kudos to, well, not just Maverick Hunter Daniel, but all the YouTubers that I like, because Mr. Maverick Hunter Daniel, he has been on YouTube since the year 2010, and he's still uploading videos to this day. Of course, there have been a couple of times where Maverick Hunter Daniel's channel went a bit of a drought. He didn't upload any videos. You know, there was that one point between 2014 and 2015 where I guess he didn't upload any videos because he didn't know what to really to upload to YouTube. And there was that other time from, you know, between, you know, from the middle of 2017 all the way up to early 2018 where Maverick Hunter didn't upload any videos because it was a workplace stress, which was a bit of an unfortunate circumstance. But at least Maverick Hunter came back and yes, you know, despite the fact that Mr. Maverick has been on YouTube since 2010, still uploading videos to this day. And I've seen from Mr. Maverick, you know, despite the fact that he has I think he's still has a job at Southwest Trains, he still uploads videos on a somewhat regular basis. You know, he still does the Train Sim News Show, which is still as good as ever. I still love the Train Sim News Show, and I hope it continues for as long as possible. And you know, and like I said earlier, Mr. Maverick Hunter Daniel said himself, "I'm not leaving YouTube until YouTube leaves me," and that's really the same sense that I have. Like I plan to YouTube, you know, until YouTube dies. You know, that reminds me of another thing by, you know, NASCAR YouTuber Mr. N2SC4R, Joseph Lombard. You know, he once in a Q&A video that he did some years back, you know, he said, you know, my last video must be when YouTube dies, basically. So, implying that Joseph Lombard is going to continue YouTube until the website eventually crashes down. And, you know, Maverick Hunter Daniel, I guess he has that same stance. And I do too. At this point, I just plan to do YouTube until YouTube dies. And if YouTube never dies, then might as well say that I'm never going to stop doing this YouTube thing. You know, even if I have to even if I'm not going to upload for a month or 2 months, or maybe even a considerable amount of time, I'm not really sure. I can at least tell you that that I will be doing my best to doing YouTube as long as possible, because you know, I've been doing YouTube for 7 years now, and I want to do this for, well, I don't know how many years. I just hope for as long as possible, maybe even forever. You know, who knows? Maybe one day I might sell this channel to somebody else if I get too old or too worn out to do it, and or maybe I'll never get worn out doing it. Maybe I'll just continue this until the day that I, well, you know, ultimately sausageize, you know. But of course, if that happens, I'll probably sell the rights to this channel to, I don't know, someone else. Some, you know, maybe a century down the line. I don't know. Yeah, I'm talking way into the future. I know this sounds nuts, but, you know, it's just really my way of saying I'm gonna be here on YouTube for a long time. So, you know, for all you fans out there, I'm sure you'll be happy to know this, and for all you saucies out there, get used to it, because I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So, I guess that's my little, you know, conversation, or well, sort of conversation talk about, you know, where I plan to take this channel, right? Or in general, just the future of sausages. But yeah, I guess to conclude this conversation, glad Mr. Moment 70 is now gone, because, or at least gone from YouTube, because his content just really wasn't that good after a while. And you know, as for the YouTubers that I like, you know, Maverick Hunter Daniel, of course, but there's also Kamikaze Games, who still does YouTube to this day and probably will for pretty much forever. They have NASCAR Racing Fan 2015, or NRF as he's known now, who also I pretty much see doing YouTube for many years into the future, and many more YouTubers that I watch regularly. Because, you know, despite all the demonetization, sausages, and all the silly changes YouTube has made, YouTube is still a great website. And, you know, not just because YouTube themselves make a great website, but just because, mainly because of all the people on the site that make up what YouTube is, and, you know, well, providing that, you know, you decide to be a good YouTuber and you're not politically correct, and you know, don't try to appeal to the most bland audience possible, and you actually try to be unique in a way. And, you know, that's actually worked out for some YouTubers, and it's definitely worked out in a way for me. And yeah, that's all I've got to say about, you know, the future, I suppose. We've got still 15 minutes left, so I guess one thing that I will mention now, and I forgot to mention it earlier, I guess I will say now that from this live stream until Bill and Ted Show number 11, you know, my channel will be going into just a little bit of a drought, which means no videos for the next couple weeks. And then of course there will only be a video on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the month of March, which means no videos on any other. Well, apart from the NASCAR, apart from the race reviews. You know, I should also say that the race reviews will be a thing as well. Yeah, you may have noticed I still haven't recorded the Daytona 500 review. I might do that maybe sometime tomorrow. I'm not sure. You know, so don't worry though. You know, I was gonna wait to, you know, record the video with Domtron, but of course Domtron being Domtron decided to fly off. So I might just record the race review maybe on tomorrow. But I can at least tell you that from now on, every race review that I do in regards to NASCAR or IndyCar or any other sport, they'll always be uploaded on Sundays. Or basically maybe the day of the race or the day after the race, whether Dom turns up or not. And, you know, of course, if Dom does turn up, then, you know, he can share his opinion. But if he doesn't show up on when I need to do the review, then lol, I guess. So yeah, so there's gonna be the race reviews, but, you know, for the, you know, I guess those are just the low effort salty videos. But I guess for properly edited videos, there's gonna be a new Bill and Ted short every Wednesday for the next 20 weeks, and there will be, and for almost every Thursday there will be a NASCAR Siemens National Series race, where up until that series concludes, and for the NASCAR Cup Series there will be a race every Friday, for, you know, every week up until the NASCAR Skills Cup Series season concludes. And after that, more content will follow. So yeah. So I won't be uploading a ton of videos, but hope at least it's entertaining enough for you. And as for live streams, like I said, you know, there will be the one, you know, between now and July, there will be the one live stream on 4,004 where he shows off the new expansion. But other than that, really nothing happened in terms of live streams until the month of July. But like I said, it's still the premieres for the Bill and Ted short, so you can do that. So there you go. Alright, so there's still 12 minutes remaining on the talk show, so I guess talk about whatever else for another thing. Oh man, I have just found out something quite interesting on the Dovetail website. You know, you may have noticed that. Well, I should have said this earlier, but I am now on the Dovetail live store because a very interesting add-on is now making its way to Steam, being the Frankfurt U-Bahn network. Now, there is something quite interesting around this. Quite interesting indeed. So, one thing I should say is that Mr. Andre, who, you know, otherwise aka still Brownless, as he's known on YouTube, he plays Train Simulator, like me and Domtron do, and he actually owns the Frankfurt U-Bahn network DLC, although what's interesting is that Mr. Andre was able to get that DLC from the Just Train store. Or basically the Just Train's website. And, interestingly enough, you know, he bought that add-on, but he was able to share it with me and Domtron for free, which means that, you know, basically he bought the add-on, but because of that, we were able to get the add-on ourselves for free. Yeah. So, yeah, basically an add-on that would otherwise cost $41 from the Just Train's website, me and Dom were able to get for free. thanks to Andre. And I think he's moved for the days. But anyway, so I've had the Frankfurt U-Bahn now for quite a little while now, thanks to Andre. But this is now interesting. I just found out right now, on trainsimulator.com. That's the fact that the U-Bahn network is coming to the Steam store. And this is interesting because I remember I once said while driving on the U-Bahn network, I was in a call with Domtron, I think Avery was here as well. I said, they should actually bring this DLC to the Steam store because it really is a cool one. And what do you know? Only a short period of time later, I now find out that it is coming to the Dovetail store. Or not, well, the Dovetail store and the Steam store. So pretty soon, you'll be able to buy the Frankfurt U-Bahn network from the Dovetail store and the Steam store. Holy moly. So for the fun of it, let's read this article a bit more. Indeed. Yep, Just Trains are bringing the complex and bustling Frankfurt U-Bahn network to the Steam and Dovetail game stores, complete with unique operations, authentic details, and bespoke traction. Yeah. Oh, there's the entire network in a map, which actually looks quite cool. I actually consider downloading this map as an image just because it looks kind of cool, actually. Image copyright Nordwest thing. Oh shoot! It even goes by the Frankfurt station, or at least would, but it's not the game reasons. But, oh man, this is a cool map that they shared here on Train Sim thingy majiggy. But this is quite cool. So yeah, if you want to read the entire article about the Frankfurt U-Bahn, just go on trainsimulator.com and you can read now for yourselves. But it is now on its way is now coming to the Steam store, even though I already have it. So yeah, of course it's gonna be on the Steam store, but of course I'm gonna be buying it from there because I already have the DLC question. Well, apparently, look at this map. Apparently, one of the stops goes by the Frankfurt station thing, which is quite interesting, actually. So, I'm finding this to be actually quite cool, and I might actually mess around with this map a bit. When I say mess around with the map, just So you get all the lines on the Frankfurt U-Bahn, being U1 through U9, which I will understand. Well, I mean, I still understand. I do understand. Yeah, well, sausages. Anyway, so there you go. So yeah, Frankfurt U-Bahn. It was already available in the Just Train store, but pretty soon you'll be able to buy it from the Steam store. I don't care. But I mean, whatever. I guess for whatever reason, if you're nervous about getting the U-Bahn Frankfurt route Frankfurt U-Bahn route from the Just Train store, you can get it a lot more safely from either the Dovetail store or the Steam store. So yeah, I just found out a few minutes ago, which yeah. So with that having been said, yeah. So yeah. Anyway. There you go. Oh, what? Yeah. Oh, and also, yeah, in terms of NASCAR news, apparently there's a rumor that the Daytona 500 won't be the season opener anymore. Yeah, because, because recently, ever since Brian France got arrested and Steve Phelps came into power, um, there has been quite a bit of speculation on what the 2021 schedule will be like, because we already know what the 2019 schedule is going to be like, because it was revealed way back in early 2018, only to be revealed that the 2019 NASCAR season schedule is exactly the same as the 2018 schedule. And of course, we still have yet to know what the 2020 NASCAR schedule is, but probably might be another copy and paste of 2018 schedules. Probably might be, but of course, NASCAR being NASCAR, of course, they got themselves locked into a deal with the Speedway corporations of all the tracks. And for more information on that, I don't know, look it up. But yeah, so although so basically what happens is that with all the tracks that NASCAR goes to, NASCAR basically locked themselves into a deal with them that will last up until the end of the 2020 season, which means that the 2021 NASCAR schedule will hopefully be quite different from what the schedule for 2020 will probably be, and what this year's schedule is. And there's been quite a bit of things up in the air. Steve Phelps himself came out and said he has no idea what the 2021 schedule looked like. Some say it could consist of more short tracks and road courses, and not so many repeat tracks. And I say this is all a step in the right direction, but now there's the rumor that the Daytona 500, NASCAR's biggest race, may not be the season opener anymore. And I fear that. I'm just like, you don't do that, I'm afraid, Like, I know that Daytona hasn't always been the season opener for the NASCAR schedule, but ever since the 1980s, or for a while in general, it's become a tradition to have the Daytona 500 as the first big race, or the first official race of the NASCAR Cup Series season. And honestly, to have the Daytona 500 not be the season opener just sounds like sacrilege to me. It really is sacrilege, because it's come to a point now, or in general, Daytona, it's just the right track to go to for the first race of the season. ARCA goes there for the season opener, along with the NASCAR Truck Series, Xfinity, and the Cup Series. And I wanted it to stay like that. But, of course, now there's rumors of the fact that the 2005 won't be the season opener in 2021. And I really hope all the rumors are false. I really hope that the 500 is still the season opener on the 2021 schedule, but ultimately, can't really say anything for sure, to be honest. But I do at least hope that the 2021 schedule does come with a lot of positive changes from the 2020 and 2019 schedules. So, there you go. Well, it's 58 minutes into the stream. Yeah, so this stream looks like barely anybody's turned up, so although this live stream will become public straight after it gets processed, which means that you'll be able to watch this afterwards if you missed out on the stream, and I do suggest that you do watch stream back, because it does go into quite a bit of details on the future of this channel, and a few other pointers, a few other points of interest, and just some other things as well. But yeah, so the Don't Fun Race review probably come maybe sometime tomorrow or Friday, depending on whenever I can get off of my lazy butt to actually record the video. Or I might just record it tonight if Dom can get off of his lazy butt, and we can record the video together. I don't know. Otherwise, I'll just continue to record my Bill Tech clips. But that is all for this talk show. I talked about just about everything that I need to say, but if you guys have any questions about anything I talked about on this talk show, put in the comments and I'll reply to it as soon as possible. So, yeah. So this channel, it's going to look interesting from now until the month of July.
and especially with the amount of Bill and Teddery that's going to be coming out, and the NASCAR that's going to be coming out as well. It should be fun. It should be fun indeed. But I guess that's all to talk about. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this talk show / live stream / video thing, whatever you're watching this as. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I shall see you in 2 weeks for the premiere of Bill and Ted Short number 11. See you then, guys. Bye-bye.